First, I think that this has been a really wonderful gathering. And thank you, Doris, Jose, and the rest of the team for arranging it. We learned a lot. We got to meet each other, and we were moved. We were touched. That's really amazing. I was looking around when these cases were showcased up here, and people was really engaged with them. I think that's something that is not really common, so I think we should at least pause to say thanks. But then, while or at least I was listening to all these wonderful speakers, I was thinking that there are some problems, and mainly, I would say the biggest challenge is that many of the cases that we share are really difficult to be applied to other environments, are sometimes difficult to scale up. In the cultural arts and culture and ecosystem, we usually find some difficulties in terms of the quality of the management of the institutions that we are supposed to be working with. And there's also a big challenge in terms of how to build a real consensus around these projects. Yesterday we had this wonderful presentation by Salvador, and we were asking him here and afterwards, and even today, what's the key ingredient, the secret sauce in that successful story in Peru. And somehow it's probably how they managed to build a consensus around something that was not obvious before it started. And from that consensus, they managed to move forward to build proper institutions, formal or informal, but to build proper institutions that allowed them to move forward. But what we all agree is that art changes lives. We've been, for 2 days, sharing experiences and learning from these experiences. The city of Buenos Aires, if you allow me just a brief mention to our city, is a city of culture. And our big challenge is how to expand access to culture, how to actually get everybody on board in terms of being part of that conversation. Of course, understanding that culture is not entertainment. Culture is a basic tool for development. We ran a program called Pase Cultural. It's a card that we provide to every student in public schools in our city. In that card, they have money, real money, that they can only use in cultural activities. Whatever they want to do, they are free to choose. They can buy a book, they can go to a theater, a movie, to a museum. The idea is that everyone has the same chance to be part of the arts and culture ecosystem. And I'm mentioning this because meeting these young people, it's really moving how, in many cases, they are the first in their families that are really able to be in touch with, not with culture, of course, they are in touch with culture everywhere, but being able to choose and to be part and to be really active. So I think that cases of culture can also be renamed a case for culture, because it's really the thing that we've been sharing during these 2 days. We agree that culture can be transformative, and I think that we should leave this room with some new challenges. The first one should be, for sure, that we keep on this conversation going on. And it's amazing what you are doing with the Renaissance Now project, sharing all these great cases. I think it can be the basis for building even a wider and bigger conversation. Of course, we love coming here, but we can also have some of these conversations online. We're all used to having Zoom conversations right now, so probably we can agree on some sort of regular basis conversation to keep on the ball rolling.
And you can invite us to one time.
And we will, for sure. We will. We love to bring you down there, for sure.
I think we need a WhatsApp. I think we need a Renaissance Now
Another, yeah,
WhatsApp
no,
group.
yes, of course. Especially to decide what to do tonight. And a second challenge would be how we can use all this, what we learned, to actually help these cases, these projects, to scale up, to be able to be better managed, to be able to be transformative on a wider way, even on a city level or a national level way, as we heard from Peru, but it's also happening in other countries. Our third challenge is to learn how to build this consensus. I'm not sure how to do it. It's really difficult. I mean, I can agree with all of you, but then I have the challenge to convince decision makers, not only on the public sphere, but also on the business side of the equation, NGO, art organizations. So we agree, but it's not that easy. And that's why, and I'm finishing, that's why, of course, building this consensus as a way to build institutions afterwards, because if not, it's really fragile. If we cannot manage to actually, because at least in Latin America, I would say, for sure in Argentina, we are really used to stop and go kind of policies, where every 4 years you have to start from scratch all over again, and it's really tiring. It's really, you get frustrated because things cannot move on. So that's why institutions, again, formal or informal, should be in place to make us sure that this is not in vain. And that's why it's also very important, these kind of gatherings, the work of universities, not only Harvard, of course, but because you can research and cross-share knowledge within the universities. Bring, as you had, bring together people from different faculties and whereabouts. In the end, I think we have a great challenge. Marshall just said something that was really moving. It is the challenge is to sort of build this future-oriented storytelling. That's an amazing concept because it's really empathic in terms of how to bring everybody on board. Of course, without forgetting where we are coming from, because it's impossible to go to the future if you don't know where you come from, but with an open heart and an open spirit to build this common or future-oriented storytelling. Again, I think that we have to do all this, which is quite a feat, and we have to do it by bearing in mind that we do it with purpose, because we work with art. Art is where the magic begins, and this is what we've been talking for these 2 days. So thank you very much. For me, it was really an honor to be part of this event and conversation. I learned a lot. I'm going back tomorrow to Argentina, to Buenos Aires, with my head full of ideas. I'm willing to just get them going, and I hope we really can stay in touch. It's really important, and I'm sure that it's going to be useful. It's like a rock that you drop on the water, and it starts going there, and you never know when it's going to end. And hopefully it's going to end. It's not going to end for a long, long time. So thank you again. It was really a pleasure, and I'm raising my half full glass of water, and thank you.